evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Fun Show here at Big TV. This is the October 29th edition, the pre-Halloween
And we feel feisty.
edition of the Fun Show. Michael Sallin is once again sitting behind the Kira keyboard,
Trying to play
searching
the
among
piano.
the white keys and the black keys and attempting to find a tune. Actually, I think he found one there somewhere. What was it?
Well, that's for
You
next
had
week.
Veterans Day on your mind.
All right, okay.
2 weeks is Veterans Day, so you want to point that
Okay,
out.
I'll point it out.
So you do a little World War I medley. The White Cliffs of Dover. And I'm Arch O'Reilly. Too bad I'm back. And sitting between us once again is Susan Harrington. So we
Better
have
looking
we
than
have
you
come
are.
in. Huh?
She's better looking than you are.
Well, that's not hard.
There you go.
That's a backhanded compliment, Michael.
We want them to know you're here. So you're supposed to get up with a baseball
can
bat
she-
and whack both of us.
How can she not know? Well, that would be fitting. My reverse psychology worked very well. For the last couple of shows, I've been saying, the Red Sox, they won't win another game. You know, they're going down. They're frauds. Last night,
They showed us.
4-1. They won the World Series. I feel a little sorry for the L.A. Dodgers, who have just as bad beards as the Red Sox do. 2 years in a row in the World Series and losing
wow.
them both, you know. But it was funny when the two big, huge red beards were battling each other on things. But the Dodgers, they did win one game. It only took them 18 innings and 360 baseballs to do it. Do you know why they get these huge counts on baseballs in these games now? If the ball just kisses the ground, they immediately throw it out now these days.
Yeah.
I mean,
The fans
I've
get
seen him throw 5 balls out in one at-bat,
Yeah.
you know.
Easy.
If the catcher scoops it down off the dirt, they throw it out.
That's it.
And I mean, obviously this is big bucks professional baseball, but when we were a kid, we played with a baseball for a season. You know,
And it was
wrap tape around it.
it was clumpy.
Yeah, they were a little lumpy, but
Yeah.
they stuck to your hand. You had got a good grip
yeah,
on
they
them.
did.
So.
I can remember.
So I guess the thing that we're all getting is as November 6th draws closer and closer, we're all getting a little edgy.
Why edgy? What's that all about?
There's a thing called an election.
Oh yeah,
you remember that.
There is something coming up about.
Yeah,
And a lot of people are really hot on this thing. Boy.
you've been voting for over 60 years. You should know.
But this guy, everybody picks on him, and I think he's funny.
Oh, come on, it's not even acceptable to be funny about it.
I laugh when he's at these rallies. I tune it up and laugh
Who you
hard.
mean, Gonzalez?
What?
No, he's talking about DJ.
DJ.
Oh, that idiot.
Yeah. In any case, we have, what is it now? 8 days.
That's it.
8 days to figure out whether the United States of America still exists or not.
Har, har, har. That's how he's.
And if it were to go badly, the interesting thing is in 1939, people all over Europe were looking to escape to America.
Right.
To a land of freedom and security and justice and fair play. Where is it we look to escape now? Isn't it ironic how many of us are now looking to Germany
Yeah.
as that place?
Germany and.
Isn't it ironic?
I have a friend who's going to retire to Mexico.
Does she speak Spanish?
Nope.
She's going to try to learn.
She's
I think she should practice before she retires.
well. Apparently, this town that she's going to, there's a lot of.
is expats. And
Yeah.
basically
Oh.
speaks.
Down. Yeah, I heard about that too.
So
I don't know. It is. I don't want to pick on the poor Mexicans, but it is a little dangerous in many parts of that country. and many parts that 5 years ago were not considered dangerous. You
I
know?
mean, I wouldn't. I really thought maybe Canada. I don't know
Canada,
if they'd let me in.
Too cold. I don't want to go there.
Oh, because it's so warm here,
too
right?
cold.
Yeah.
Right, right.
We're having a heat
Some
wave.
of Canada is actually more southern than we are. We said other things. But it's ironic that basically we're talking. What are we talking?
Alaska.
80
I would
years
go.
later, and now people are looking to
Leave.
looking for where they can go for safety and security. But if it should go wrong next week, my first suggestion is that we should change the name of this country. The good old US of T.
UST. Well, I don't know.
And
it
it's
doesn't
not
have-
United States Trust.
Yeah, that's good. It doesn't have that ring to it, like America. That sounds good to me.
Well,
And we're getting it better all the time,
we should remember that this entire continent is America. It's funny. It's typical of us that we refer to ourselves as America.
Americans. Yeah.
When the entire continent from Hudson's Bay to Tierra del Fuego is America.
Well, we want to own it all. That's all.
My Latin American friends
They don't.
periodically point this out to me.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, they don't like this.
you're not America. But I had a friend today. We were discussing this, and he said, "Well, we should get a really big, huge ship. We should take all these people and march them on the ship, and sail them all back to Honduras." I said, 1939,
Yeah,
Nazi Germany. That's
Right.
what we did to the Jews.
yeah.
We put them on ships and sailed them back to Nazi Germany.
About 929 of them.
I
And
mean,
that was the end. Yeah.
um,
Well,
in any case, so now the current occupant has apparently gotten Mattis to apparently perhaps send as much as 5,200 more active duty troops to the border,
with their
which
rifles.
I'm not sure is legal because Congress is not in session and Congress needs to approve the deployment of active duty troops.
That's
Ironically, the president can deploy National Guard troops unless governors stand up.
the governors have stood.
But what's he planning to do? Line them up on the border and shoot these people when they approach?
Yes.
Sounds reasonable.
But that's not going to happen before the election because they're several hundred miles away. And so I'm worried that if he really wants to make this an election ploy to get his base foaming at the mouth, he may decide he can't wait for them to reach the border and decide to send the 82nd Airborne down into the middle of Mexico to intercept them to protect us.
Well,
Yes.
What I was going to say though is,
but will Afghanistan attack?
I don't know. I want to hear what Susan
but
has to
the
say.
thing of it is that that's not going to stop him from waiting to do it November 7th.
No, he may still do that, but it won't have the same political motivation. And does he have any other?
Yeah, blood.
You know,
Blood.
it's
He's talked about it. If you see a guy with a tomato in his hand, knock him down. Get
right,
him.
and I'll pay your legal bills.
Right.
Of course, don't count on him to pay anything he promises to
Yeah,
pay,
well,
including his own legal
gonna
bills.
He paid that $25 million before he took office.
on
that
the Trump
school, the Trump schools.
University thing.
Yeah.
Well, he won't pay Elizabeth's $1 million. You know, he now claims, "Oh, I never promised
Yeah.
that." But it doesn't bother him that he's on tape.
Yeah.
You know, saying
Yeah,
things. Well, speaking of him and our other story about the Red Sox winning
Yeah.
the World Series, now the most successful team so far this century. The owner, what's his name? Henry.
John Henry.
Yeah.
John Henry. He claims that they're going to happily go to the White House.
Oh,
And I wonder whether they're going to happily go to the White House.
they get down
And-
on one knee at his desk.
And if they do, I will never, ever, ever support them again as long as I live.
If they go,
Yes,
well,
yes. I mean, they ought to have at least as much dignity as the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's
You
true.
know?
But what about this? I'm thinking there's another situation here that we're leaving out. I can't remember it exactly. It'll come to me in a while. All right, go ahead to the next. Yeah, I'll get to it.
Well, we had we had a very, very bad week last week. We had several days of pipe bombs showing up
Yeah.
all over
Oh,
the
my
place.
goodness.
And
And,
poor murders.
And they were all people that Donald Trump had publicly attacked,
Yes.
all enemies of Trump. The guy was in a van that was covered with all kinds of Trump material and all his targets with targets on them on the thing. And
Will that be at a
Trump is complaining that he's being unfairly accused of inspiring this. Come on. Come on. Anyway, it was very impressive how rapidly they caught this guy,
Yeah.
however.
But then they said hate crimes was on. I heard it on. I don't understand that. And this woman on this network, she said the FBI said there were 0 hate crimes in the last year.
What?
That's what this woman who's. She said there were. She said, "Don't ask me. We have to call the FBI."
You mean up until yesterday at the synagogue?
I don't know. Maybe for 17 or 16. One of the 19th, I think it was 1917.
That's totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know, but she said this. She
You
read
ever heard
this.
of Chancellorsville or Charlottesville or whatever it was?
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
that's ridiculous. It's. We had hoped that the FBI had stayed an independent
yeah.
agency. We had this fond hope. We kind of thought that Rosenfeld or whatever was keeping the
Rosenstein,
FBI
yes.
straight. But then, of course, came the Kavanaugh investigation, which proved that the FBI
Yeah.
no longer exists as the FBI. And although one must say they caught this guy,
Yeah.
like in 3 days?
Yeah.
So-
And he had De Niro on the list. I mean,
De Niro,
He had
right?
De Niro on the list, and they found another bomb today.
Yeah.
Somewhere,
14th
yeah.
or 15th
Yeah.
Going
bomb.
to CNN.
However, the thing is, there's 14 bombs now or something like
Yeah.
that, and not one of them went off. They keep trying to tell us, no, these were not dummy bombs. They were actually had the potential to go off. But through the mail, through the sorting centers,
Yeah.
through the deliveries and all that kind of stuff, none of them went off. This guy was either the world's worst bomb maker or the world's best bomb maker, one or the other. I mean, just even if they weren't well made, I mean, just
With
sitting in the
handle.
heat or dropping
Yeah.
and
They were well
They
made.
didn't detonate any of them?
No,
not one.
not one.
Not one, which is sort of interesting. Anyway, make your plans accordingly. Halloween is going to be a very
Wednesday,
big day
Yeah.
in Boston because they're going to have another duck boat parade for the Red Sox.
But if there's big waves, they won't do it, will they?
What?
If there's big waves on the Charles,
They don't go into the water with this.
They don't do that. They
With
go
the-
from Fenway
What do they call it?
Park
Rolling?
to
They used to go out there.
to
All right.
the City Hall Plaza.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere up there.
Yeah. They don't go in the water.
They go up to Boylston Street to the Common, and then they go down Tremont Street the wrong direction, incidentally, to City Hall Plaza. And interestingly, the mayor made it very clear that there's no rally at City Hall Plaza. This is just a parade. No rally at City Hall Plaza.
Good.
So I guess he was. Now, when they won, they didn't have too much hubbub. They didn't have too
No,
much trouble.
no.
Well,
One guy got arrested.
but before the end of the game, they showed where I don't know what they call those metal barrier things.
Yeah.
But they filled up Kenmore Square with
Yeah,
those.
they always try.
And
no,
they
they
had
had
the
a
police
lot of-
on the bicycles
Yeah.
and the.
The theory is that most of the trouble comes from the college students. I'm not sure that's true, but that's the theory.
Yeah.
And they must presume that college students don't know the city well enough to head anywhere but to Fenway Park, you know. But they seem to have it fairly well
Yeah.
figured out.
They-
You remember a couple of people got shot a couple of years
Yeah.
ago
Yes,
when
yeah.
they won one. So
It was supposed to, what was it, a
this was better.
sandbag or something? He wasn't using a real gun. It was some kind of another
Like a
thing.
BB gun?
It was
No, no.
rubber bullets or
No,
something?
no, they are. In fact, you're very right. They're like beanbags,
Yeah.
and they're shot out of a shotgun,
This,
and it's like a punch to
Yeah.
wherever you get
and hit him
get
in the
hit.
eye.
And but the only problem is every once in a while you read about some little kid who catches a baseball in the
Yeah.
breastbone and their
Yeah.
heart stops. So
Yeah.
there's still a hazard to that. But anyway, so we got a vote here, and you mentioned one of the people that I would like to warn people not to vote for, and that's one Jay Gonzalez, one of the biggest frauds to come along in Massachusetts.
I
in a
kind of
long
like
time.
him, but you
half a sawed-off little runt of a thoughtless man.
that's insulting. I can't say that.
Huh?
That's insulting.
Well, if he hadn't decided to attack higher education in Massachusetts, I wouldn't have insulted him.
You're defaming him.
Really?
Yes, you call him a sawed-off something. I'm not gonna.
Runt, I call him.
Oh, I'm gonna write that down for the lawyer when he comes to see you. Anyways,
Anyway, the other thing is.
wait a minute. Is the Crown Prince coming for the parade? The other guy in
From
Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, why wouldn't he want? He likes parades, and here is a chance for Trump
How do you know he likes parades?
because Trump was there and
Oh, is that the one that Trump made Trump
yeah,
want
they
to
made a
have his
beautiful parade
Oh.
for
I
him,
thought
and
that was France.
that was another parade he likes. Yeah, he likes parades, but he won't come up.
You don't think Trump's going to come up for the parade, do you?
Well, he might settle people down a little bit about all this stuff. I would like to see him show up here, wouldn't you? Trump?
I'd like to see,
You think he? Well, he
see
might.
him
He
be
can,
anywhere but on planet Earth.
you think he's heading for outer space?
I'd like
That
him
would
to
be
go
nice.
to North Korea and stay
Stay
there.
there.
He says he's in love with Kim
He is.
Jong-un.
And take Kanye
Why
West with
doesn't
him.
he go and get himself another foreign bride? This one, Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un.
I'm sure that Melania would be very happy.
Yeah, I know.
But what about Khashoggi? We still don't know anything about that. I guess he's dead.
Well, we know more. I think something flashed across my screen saying that some of his body parts have been found.
Oh, all right. I feel
I
better
know.
now.
the journalist.
Yes.
Okay, I was
Yes.
thinking.
Okay, I'm glad.
The
to
guy
hear.
the guy who went into the Saudi consulate to get papers so he could get married,
Yeah,
and
she was outside, the woman, waiting.
it's a little suspicious. Well, there's a ton of things that are suspicious.
Yeah.
It's a little suspicious that they took his clothes and put him on a body double and marched the body double outside so
Yeah.
it would look like he'd left.
Right,
You know?
Clever.
Yeah. Well, we'll
But everything
we'll see.
fell
But
apart.
the thing is, Trump doesn't want to do anything about it because they buy stuff from us,
Hundreds
they
of
buy-
millions
they
of
buy
dollars.
stuff. and he
Even
doesn't want
more.
to give up the sales.
Okay,
I mean, follow the money, as the saying goes, right?
okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the Big TV Unrehearsed Thespian Society's presentation.
Boy,
for
that
tonight,
went by fast.
which
Yeah.
which we have extracted from the vault. I don't even know from what part of the vault, but
Way down.
perhaps you'll figure it out.
the deep end.
But just keep in mind that it's from somewhere in history.
Okay.
It's a history quiz,
Yes.
It's a
right?
history quiz.
Action.
We're always talking about movies and shows.
No, we're not. You've got the wrong one.
Yeah. Because mine says, did you
You've got the wrong script.
Oh,
you changed your mind?
I changed my mind. I left all the
Let me see.
scripts.
That's the one we read first.
Yep. So, anyways, let's talk about something else. So,
Yeah,
I'm getting ready to-
I'll look on with you, okay?
oh, jeez, he's
Wait a
determined.
minute,
to do
I'll look
this.
on with him.
No.
All
Okay,
right.
so which one are we? Okay, I guess we're doing this one, the critique.
So you got me all
No, we're doing. Did you see the protest march?
The what?
You can't.
You
do
can't
that,
do
Mike.
that,
Your
Mike.
mic is here.
Oh, okay, I forgot.
Okay, there's no show tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Like
Um,
I mean. So anyway, I was getting ready to ask you something, but I forgot what the devil it was. Oh, so here's the thing. This idiot wants you to take a weapon into a house of worship.
Yeah.
Right. He said it's there. It wouldn't have been as bad if they'd been armed. In other words, he was blaming the victims for not being
Yeah.
armed.
Well, there are a lot of.
But you know, the thing is, this is absolute classic NRA thought. NRA, it is never the problem of too
Yeah.
many guns. It is always the problem of too few guns.
Right.
If everybody, you know, the best way to stop a bad man with a gun is a good man with a gun.
So
That's-
but who's to decide who's the good? Because the bad man thinks that he's the good man.
No, I know, but the NRA wants to sell to both of
Yeah.
them so that they're perfectly happy to
You
have
go
that.
into you go into the church or the synagogue,
I mean,
and
one
you
of
got
the-
a big lump over here.
one of these poor victims in Pittsburgh had survived the Holocaust.
Yeah, the
No.
woman,
Isn't
Millinger.
that something?
Millinger. I
And
think
this
that was.
brave American, you know, white supremacist master race guy, the youngest person he shot, I think, was like 56 years
Yeah,
old.
right.
You know,
Oh, he's a great.
I
he's
mean,
a great
what a.
person. Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you what I was. I get the report. The perpetrator is in custody. He has multiple gunshot wounds. They are not considered life-threatening. And you know, what my first thought was,
Why?
Pittsburgh police need better training.
Better shooting.
Well,
They
plus
need
too, though,
better.
you figure
They
they,
need better gun training.
yeah,
but
yeah.
they, you know, one reason I think you don't want to take somebody like that out is because you want to be able to interview them or interrogate them to find out if they've got some other mishigas going on somewhere.
Perhaps, but
You know?
but
And look at the guy who went into the Kroger's. He couldn't get into the church,
right.
so
right,
he went into the Kroger's and killed 2 black people.
right. Right.
Now, somebody should tell.
Is there anything we can actually learn from these people or not? I'm not sure. You know, the thing is, when these cops all over the country shoot unarmed young black men,
Like,
they have a great tendency to kill them.
yes.
Here they got a guy who just shot 11 innocent people,
Yeah.
and all they do is wound him?
Wound him.
Come on.
Frightening.
Get better at this.
I'm-
And a group of Pittsburgh Jewish leaders, now some people say, oh, it's a progressive group, but a group of Pittsburgh Jewish leaders have made it very, very clear that Donald Trump is not welcome in Pittsburgh.
The man,
Just-
that other man in the room there said otherwise.
That's what I just said, Michael.
Yeah. I know, okay, I'm repeating it. In Uganda,
In Uganda, my dear old Uganda.
turns out there's a president named
Museveni.
Museveni. Or something like that.
Museveni.
Yeah, Museveni.
I ran against him. I know what his name was.
Okay, all right. They take in all the migrants. They'll take everybody in. It was in the New York Times today.
In Uganda.
What?
In Uganda. They'll
Yeah.
take all of my.
They
Okay.
take everybody in and wait.
If you're hard enough to go to up,
Wait
enough
a
to go
minute.
to
Wait a minute. If they
Uganda-
get
yeah.
there and they got kids, they want to come into the country, fine, and they will they'll find them a town or whatever, and they'll tell them that the people in the town about these are migrants who are moving in here, and we're going to give them some money for food and clothes, and they have community land in these parts of Uganda, all these little communities, okay, and they share it. These people give or loan property, like a couple, 3 acres. You can use this.
I don't know. Sounds like communism to me.
No, they don't. If you're living here, here's 2 or 3 acres, and you get some tools. You can build a house over, and they
I
give them a
would think
piece of
that
land
they're
to build a
probably-
house,
Yeah.
and it works.
They're probably coming from Somalia.
Yes, and Libya.
and Libya?
Yeah, they're in this. They might come over there.
That's a long way to go
Well,
from Libya,
well.
and
Look at the people coming up from Central America. That's a long
Michael, there are
ways.
23 million people in Uganda, and only 6,000 of them are white folks.
Well,
Only 6,000 Caucasians among the 23 million people in Uganda.
what are they doing for
Is
a
this a
living?
place where the Libyans are going to
I
want
don't
to?
know. I can't answer that. But anyways, they do take everybody in, and I
Well,
think
that's
it's
cool.
great.
I mean, there's lots of things. You know, Museveni is a guy who keeps changing the Constitution so he can be reelected. And I mean, I ran a campaign against him when he had already suspended the Constitution to run. So this must have been like his third term.
32 years.
And
he's
that
been-
was in 2001.
Yeah.
All right. And you know, he's a tough guy, and he's a dictator. He's an elected dictator,
Yeah.
you know.
But he doesn't.
But they also have one of the lowest AIDS rates in all of Africa
Right.
and things. And there are many good things that they did. And for example, he's gotten a lot of the Indians who Amin
Yeah.
threw out of the country
They
to come
brought them
back,
back,
which is
yeah.
good for business and stuff.
But he's worried about Ebola now.
Well, he should be. He
Okay.
should be.
Because he will take
but-
care of everybody. That's it.
So I think it's cool because you know it is not an overpopulated country.
no, that's another thing.
So it would be good. I mean, I was wondering whether one of the countries on earth that has long been very, very willing to have all kinds of people is Canada.
Yes.
So I was wondering whether we couldn't just put buses at the border and bus all these Hondurans to Canada. Canada needs population, you know. It's one of the most lightly populated countries in, you know,
What about Alaska?
Canada is a lot bigger than we are,
Yeah.
and they have 10% of our population.
Right, well, why can't we
10%.
send them? Why can't we
like
send
that.
them to Alaska? There's plenty of land up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it gets a little
Yeah.
cool in the
We'll give
winter.
them a parka and send them up.
Yeah, they might like it.
It might be better than where they are. you
Oh,
know.
okay, that's right.
But
It'd be
in any
safer.
case, I thought the Canadians were like, you know, the country that's absolutely open to migration now, absolutely, totally, and completely open to migration is Australia. And Australia lets in all kinds of people, and they're one of the few places that is not discriminating ethnically. They're letting in so many Asians
Yeah,
that they're actually changing the demographics of their country.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
And they are probably, in a sense, one of the best rich countries.
what about those islands that they were putting all the migrants
Well,
on?
it's an interesting thing. We'll discuss it some other point. Their policy on illegal immigrants
Yes.
is significantly different, which is interesting because they have this open arms policy for legal immigration from almost anywhere. But if you try to sneak in their country, you're going to be set out on an island in the middle of the South
That's
Pacific.
the thing, though. If they'll let anybody in, why do you need to sneak in?
I don't know. Probably because the people don't know, or they may be being misled by the equivalent of coyotes.
They don't have any money and they're
or
poor.
they have no idea and they get on a ship and they go. There's lots of possible explanations on that. But, ladies and gentlemen, one more week until the election. We will be back next week to visit with you, and the week after that we will not be on the air due to Veterans Day. So everyone, take care, work hard, get your friends and relatives
And vote.
out to the polls.
And remember, this is live television. You saw us tonight.
Doesn't always go smoothly.
No?
What's that horse name?
Okay, are we
All
done?
right, control room.
There you go.